Hey everybody, how you doing?
Good evening. Hey guys.
It's been a while since we've been live in the group. We wanted to come in and just provide you guys some encouragement today.
Yes.
What it takes to be a transformational leader, to lead where you are right now.
Hmm.
Most people think that you need to have a position to lead. That is not the case. As a matter of fact, over the last maybe 3 weeks, I've had a few people come up to me and just, kind of like just kind of like diarrhea, like just complaining about different things that they've been going through, in different aspects. People. So I went over and I was able to teach at do a presentation at a school, and just kind of like hearing the kids and just different people with the same problems, right?
Hmm.
How can I lead when I don't have a position?
Hmm.
How can I make a difference when I'm not at the top? Now, if you only wait until you get to the top to lead, then you're not going to be a leader.
And it may
Uh,
never happen.
and it may never happen. And
Yep.
what tends to happen is, you'll hear something like, oh, now that you got a promotion, now you're a leader.
Hmm.
But 3 weeks ago, you weren't a leader. So that's why it's important that you always carry yourself as a
Hmm.
leader. And one of the best strategies that you can do is when you don't have a leadership position is support the leaders above you.
Hmm.
Find out what their goals are, find out what the things that they're trying to accomplish,
Yep.
and help fuel that, help ignite that, help be the cheerleader
Yeah.
for that goal,
Yeah.
for that task, for that assignment. Be the transformation that you want to see. Be that inspirational leader right where you are, because you don't have to have a position to do that.
Absolutely. And if you were in that position, you do what you would want the people under you to do for you.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes we look at, okay, I want people to do for me, do for me. It's better to serve than to be served. So do what you would want others to do for you if you were in that leadership role.
Yeah, and I think one of the most powerful things that I've learned is that and I love to share like analogies so people can kind of like understand the importance of like leading and developing yourself and becoming a dynamic influencer. And one of the things is like everybody loves to buy, but nobody likes to be sold to. Let's flip it, right? Everybody wants to lead, but nobody wants to be led.
Mm.
So think about that. Like,
Mm.
if you are in a leadership position, like Sharita just said, what would you want the people beneath you to do? What would you want the people that work for you to do? And I always like to tell people, I don't when I'm in a leadership position, that makes me a greater servant. I am here to serve more people. When I'm not in a leadership position, I am working with the people, right? So it just really depends on your perspective, your mindset when it comes to leadership. You have to be the influence, you have to be the change that you desire to see. So if you want to lead from the middle, right? If your leader asks for something, be the first to kind of be like, you know what? Yep, I'm going to support it. Here's what we should do. If you don't agree with the idea, find a way to support something that you like about that individual and be genuine, right? So maybe you don't agree with the idea, but you know that this person is a great leader. Hey, we know that this person is a great leader, and this is a great decision, so we're going to support it because of this. So
Yes.
now you people will see that, okay, yeah, maybe he doesn't agree with what we're doing, but he agrees with the person, so let's follow him.
Yep.
Or he agrees that this person always has a great plan, so let's follow the plan.
Hmm.
Let's see that we can get good results.
Hmm.
And that shows that you're going to support not only the leader but the organization. And that's where you add value.
And that's exactly what I was going to say. That's the next point, adding value to your organization.
Yep.
And that's a way to add value to your organization. Because if you are trying to make an impact from the middle of your organization, you're not the top. You're not the top person in your organization. You're not the president or the CEO.
Mm-hmm.
And you're trying to make an impact from where you are. First, just like Christian said, you need to support your leader, but you also add value to the organization by supporting your
Yep.
leader. Because oftentimes people may listen to you
Mm-hmm.
because they work with you on a
Yep.
day-to-day basis. They see you.
They don't see the boss.
They don't see the boss.
Yep.
So they're not able to connect with the boss. You have more of an insight about
Mm-hmm.
the things that make that connection with that person, how their family's doing,
Yep.
and what they enjoy doing. You have a more of a personal relationship. So when you take that opportunity, when you have those connections and those relationships with people, to say, hey, you know what, this is what came down from leadership. It's a great idea. This is how we can enforce it, how we can implement it, how we can make it better. And that's you supporting your leadership and adding value to your organization. Because if you're complaining about what comes down from leadership, which is easy to do. Sometimes sometimes the things that come down don't make sense. You might not agree with it, but that causes for a miserable work environment.
Absolutely.
You're creating the kind of environment where we're complaining, where we're not content, we're unhappy with what's going on around us.
Yes.
Make the best of whatever is handed to you. Whatever it is that they're bringing down, how can we make this great?
Yep.
How can we make this fit what we're doing?
How can you own it and make it yours? Yep.
Yes.
That's good. And, I think for me, one of the things that you want to ensure that you do is, as Sharita was talking about that, I was thinking about, like, when you take an idea that comes down from leadership and you own it and you run with it, what tends to happen is people tend to see the people that are champions, that become the champions of the ideas.
Right.
And then you become one of the people that they look forward to. Hey, the next time we implement an idea, we need to get Chris and Sharita on board because they were the champions for the last idea. So you quickly become more reputable. You become an influencer because now you not only have the influence with the people here, but you've led up.
Yes.
You've led in the direction that you desire to lead because you are in the middle. So you influence people by supporting their vision, by adding value to the organization, and by distinguishing yourself from everybody else. You don't have to be the best at everything, but you do have to be the best at who you are. And that is important. Don't be a carbon copy of anybody else. Be the best influence that you can be, which means I got to find my strengths. If my strengths are creativity and, leadership, then that's where I need to thrive. I need to do creativity and leadership. If your strengths are in organization and personnel development, then that's what you need to do. Develop people and organize, tasks.
And as you do all of these things and you make an impact from right where you are in your organization, like you just said, Christian, the leadership will in turn look down and have more trust in you. They'll come to you and they'll ask you, what are your thoughts?
Yep.
But I guarantee you, if you're constantly complaining, if you're unhappy, if you're not making a difference, if you're not operating in excellence, if you're not distinguishing yourself from everyone else in the organization by working and doing your absolute best in excellence, they're not going to come to you. So as difficult as it is, you're making a difference. You're making an impact on your leadership when you do these things, when you support the leader, when you add value to the organization, and when you distinguish yourself from others by doing your work with excellence. Your leadership in turn will trust you and come to you, because guess what? Most oftentimes, they know they aren't perfect. They're not necessarily confident in what they're doing. And I'm not saying all the time, because sometimes, people that aren't doing things right, they're the last people to know. They think they're working and doing, they're the greatest thing since sliced bread. But not all the time is that the case. So if you establish yourself as that type of individual, as that type of leader, you may not necessarily have a role. You may not necessarily have a head title, but you are a leader, and the people in your organization, the leadership in your organization, is going to trust you and come to you and ask you your opinion.
Yeah.
They're going to trust you and want to know, hey, what do you think? How can we make this better?
Absolutely. So one of the best things that we would, let's just put it like this. The best things that you can do is show that you are going to do your very best with any opportunity given. So in order to do that, in order to lead from right where you are, to be a dynamic influencer, a dynamic leader, support your leadership, right? So show them that you support what they're doing. Make sure that you add value to the organization by, kind of building that momentum for them. An organization's greatest weapon is momentum. So if you can help them accomplish a task, that's going to propel them forward to the future. And lastly, just making sure that you distinguish yourself by being that dynamic influencer, supporting the leadership, influencing the people around you and, below you, because there's somebody always watching you. There's, a young peer coming up behind you, somebody that's right next to you. Like Sharita said, if you're constantly being negative, people see that and they're like, you know what? If you don't support it, why should I support it, right? But if they constantly see you supporting it and they constantly see you having a positive attitude, that becomes contagious. Attitude is one of the things that you want to be infectious, right? So your attitude, whether it's good or bad, is going to contaminate the organization. Is it going to be for the better?
Right. So we'll close with this. Dan Reeland says it best. He says that if you want to lead ahead, leading up is much better than kissing up.
Ooh, you're welcome.
No other words needed to be said after that. But
All
thank
right.
you guys for watching. Remember to go out and dominate your space.